Hey, what is up guys, and welcome to a quick discussion regarding the new Prey. And a special thanks to Kinguin.net for sponsoring this video. For any of you who might be on the fence about buying Prey, like I was, Kinguin actually has a deal going on right now where you can pre-order the game for just $40. So hopefully that could help make your decision at least a little bit easier, and I'll be sure to have a link for that down in the description. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about what to expect when it comes to Prey, and a little bit about why I've come to be excited for it. Not to mention, this is coming from someone who fell in love with the original Prey 2 trailer back in 2011, and thus I was honestly a little disappointed after seeing what it had become. To me, being a bounty hunter, especially in the world they had showed off before, would have been the coolest thing. And even today, I think I still would have preferred it. However, I can't help but also embrace what this new one has become. And with games like Cyberpunk and Star Citizen also set to release in the future, I'm more than willing to give this new idea they've put forth a try. For one, it's made by Arkane Studios, the same guys who created the Dishonored series, so that alone could be promising. And you know, it's one thing to have a cool concept, but without the right team behind it, it won't ever become anything more than that. So in that sense, I'd say this game has a real decent chance at becoming something more than just a game you'll play once and then forget about. Though, while we're on the topic of Arkane Studios, I should bring up the fact that Dishonored 2 had a bit of a rocky launch on the PC, and for some reason both the PS4 and Xbox One received demos for the new Prey, but the PC didn't. To me, this could be for a variety of reasons. Maybe they have it polished for the PC already, and were confident with its performance, but still wanted to do further testing on the consoles. Or it could very well be the other way around, because there's always the chance that it might not have the level of polish that they want for the PC, and they'd rather wait before they release it to the public. If that's the case, then let's just hope they can get it all sorted out before launch. In terms of gameplay, it's looking like the game is going to be quite the psychological horror, and although it may not have the same aesthetics, it almost reminds me a little bit of Dead Space, or even the older BioShocks. Plus, the fact that the game's main enemy can transform into just about anything seems extremely unique, and I think it'll easily become one of the game's strongest aspects. Because of this, I can't begin to imagine how tense it's going to make each encounter, and if they pull it off right, I can even see a lot of people getting really paranoid while playing this, especially since the creatures you'll be fighting could hide in something as simple as a chair. Bringing up Prey 2 again, I'd have to say that I still favor the overall look and feel of that compared to what we have now. Sure, the bulk of what I saw before was mainly just a cinematic trailer, but if you do some digging you can find actual gameplay footage they showed off a while back. It could just be because that game was set even further in the future, but visually, the new Prey does look a little generic, and I can't say that I'm a huge fan of the art style. I don't know if it's just me, but for some reason it makes the game look really dated. Graphics don't mean a whole lot when it comes to how great a game is, but I'd have to say that sometimes the art style does. And I just hope the look that Prey has gone for doesn't end up weighing it down, especially when it comes to the overall mood or atmosphere it's trying to give off. Additionally, this game looks like it'll have some RPG elements in terms of character upgrades and even a little bit of player choice. But whether or not that's a good or bad thing is entirely up to you. To me, I'm mainly looking for a well-made, interesting story, so if they can pull that off, I could really care less about being able to upgrade my guy. You know, I'm more so just looking for a good mystery. Another thing I really want is for this game to mix up the enemies a lot. I love the idea of the mimics and what they can do, but so far we've mostly only seen the one type. If they end up throwing in some giant ones that could potentially take the shape of much larger objects, That could at least make for some interesting boss fights. Or just adding in smarter enemies that have some interesting tricks up their sleeve, just to mix up the gameplay. And looking back, even in its unfinished stages, the old Prey 2 looked to have some really interesting combat with all sorts of abilities, so I'm very curious to see what this game does to give players a lot of options when it comes to handling different enemies. Because the last thing that this game needs is bland, uninspired gameplay that gets repetitive after the first few times. Luckily, from what I've seen so far, the weapons look really cool, and they definitely have a very neat style to them. Plus, they each seem to have different uses, such as putting out fires, killing enemies, or even scaling walls. There also appears to be a lot of freedom when it comes to navigating the space station, or even outside of it, so I think that could help mix things up. And it's really cool that instead of needing a key to get through a door, you could also just turn into a cup and roll through some vents to get in. Stuff like that will definitely add to the overall replayability. So there is that, and the fact that the game is supposed to have multiple endings, which is always nice, just as long as they are well done. So all in all, do I still wish we could have had the old concept we saw back in 2011? Yes, but on the other hand, I've come to really like what they're doing with this new approach, and I think the mimics are going to be extremely fun to go up against. So I'm more than willing to give it a shot. Plus, who knows, if this game does well, we may eventually end up getting something similar to the game we saw way back when, just later on down the road. That being said, I am curious to know what you guys think about Prey. Are you interested, or would you have rather had something else? Either way, thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one.